All right, a little different for a few days. I am going to chronicle a few days in a row. Don't usually do this. This is going to be more like a traditional daily vlog style type of deal for 3 or 4 days. Do have a few interesting things planned. I will explain why I'm doing this throughout the day. I'm in the Airbnb right now. I have a sandwich downstairs in the fridge. Gonna get it. Gonna drive to the strip, start playing poker. In the supermarket, need a drink since I don't get them for free on the strip anymore. You ever look at what people have in their carts and try to wonder what they're making? A guy just loaded his trunk with just ice. He filled 2 carts with as much ice as he possibly could, and he was putting it all in his car, and that was it. Last week at Winco, there was a guy who had 10 one-gallon containers of water in his cart, and the rest of the space was just packages of pork. Alright, welcome to Bell. The plan right now, which is subject to change as always, play Bell, then play Bally's if Bell is boring, and if Bally's is boring, I'm near the monorail stop, go to Westgate. Should be a game with the pool players going on at Westgate in a few hours, if not right now. Before I go into play, a couple shout outs. Last one I remember from Orleans, guy with the Greystone golf club hat. That specific characteristic came to me well after that day I was dealing his table, but I remembered like some way to identify him. Shout out to that guy. Also, shortly after the Orleans series ended, I went into a Smith's late at night, and a guy walking in at the same time asked me about the channel, and I'm pretty sure asked me if I'd ever been to Hawaii. I don't know if I heard that exactly correctly, but I think that's what he asked. Shout out to that guy. And yesterday met Jen from the Glendale area. We were at the same table at MGM, and her husband was at the next table, and she asked for the first autograph I've ever given. And then later I was at Westgate, and the guy on my right never got his name. He lives in Ohio, and we were talking a lot about sports and baseball cards and things like that, and UFC also, and never got his name. But we were playing at the same table, table number 4 at Westgate. So I'm gonna go into Bellagio, and probably when I'm done playing here, I'll explain to you why I'm doing these like 3-4 days in a row, daily vlog style. All right, played 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. Game was solid. I was worried if I moved, I would only find worse, so I stayed there, despite the guy on my right being the most annoying person of all time, who never knew once when it was his turn. But played for a while, gonna go to Bally's now, see what that's like. If Bally's isn't great, I'm between taking the monorail to Westgate and just going to MGM. The breakback promotion is going on at MGM, but the fund is close to gone. I was there yesterday. Only about 1/3 of the money was left in the fund. It wasn't as bad as like the first few days when there's just like 12 tables of people all there for the promotion. It's not quite that bad, so might go to Westgate after Bally's, might go to MGM. Maybe Bally's is just amazing, and I play for like 8 hours, and then I just go back to my room. So I'll see what's going on. The reason, while I'm walking, the reason I'm doing this, I planned on these days being heavy Westgate hours because the pool players are there. On Monday, so today's a Sunday, 6 days ago. On Monday, I checked Poker Atlas for like a few hours while I was in my room. Never saw a game going at Westgate. Tuesday did the same thing. Never saw a game going. Thought maybe there was a glitch with the Atlas software. And I called, and the floor said, no, there's no cash game going. That was 7:30 at night, Tuesday. Wednesday, I was between rooms. I went there at noon, which is when the room opens. There was no game. I checked into my new room. Then I went back to Westgate at like 5 p.m. No game. So I did play there a little last night, but I mean, normally there's like a couple tables of people, usually locals, but with a few pool players like coming in and out throughout the day. For 3 days, there was just nothing every time I checked. I wasn't checking 24 hours, but every time I checked for 3 days, there was no game. So those days were gonna be heavy Westgate days. I was planning on playing 30 hours in the week to get some good hours against the pool players, and also get the 30 hours is the rakeback amount, 30 hours for $200 during the Westgate week. But for one, that plan didn't happen. also, if I were doing that, I was thinking about making an hours challenge out of it, but I did that the last time the pool players were in town in April. That day that ended with me getting to Bally's at like 8 p.m. and still needing 8 hours there. And then I just switched back and forth between limit and no limit for like 8 hours at Bally's.
Okay. Somehow get us down there.
So even if the Westgate games were like going around the clock, I was still probably just going to do this daily vlog type of thing because it's a little different and because I already did an hours challenge regarding Westgate during the billiards tournament. So that's why I'm doing it. There's the reasoning. I'm on the bridge between Bell and Bally's. This is looking south along the strip. And yeah, oh, more shout outs. I was playing Win like 5 days ago or something. Guy in the 5 seat, because we're 9-handed at Win, he knew me from the Orleans videos, and that's about it for now. I played just over an hour. Wasn't great. Wasn't very lively in the room. Our half of the table was fairly social. Jeff was on my right. We played at a Bellagio table last year, which also included a guy who played minor league baseball against Ty Wigington, who is my 5th favorite baseball player of all time, by the way. Last Met to ever run down a catcher at the plate, and no one really does it anymore, even though you're allowed to. So he'll probably be the last Met who ever does that all time. One of the reasons he's my 5th favorite player ever. So, gonna head to MGM, just called, put my name on the list. Yeah, not a ton of interesting things are happening poker-wise, although that's expected. It's the hottest Vegas gets all year, and right after the series, which I understand, but I do love the rates on the strip, how many days they're low, and still plenty of games, but I'm saying this because it might not be the most interesting videos I ever make poker-wise. Toilet paper on the garbage. I don't know why people are wasting that. But tomorrow, changing rooms. Actually have to make a stop between the rooms. Bellagio buffet. I've been eating, so a lot of people, I used to do this when I was a kid and we knew we were going to the Outback because, man, I would get like the same thing every time. We would get wings and a bloomin' onion and share those. And for some reason, I thought the salad was okay. I didn't think it was like the greatest salad of all time. Other people in the family thought it was. So we would get the salads, and then I would get a cheeseburger. It's a lot of food. So I would plan like a day in advance, not eating that much to be ready. So I didn't get full while we were eating at the Outback. And now I do that for like buffets. A couple of times this year, this summer, herbs and rye, and I didn't plan umami or Texas State Brazil that far in advance. It was a little problematic, but I've been eating pretty light for like the last 4 days. And in 2 days, Bellagio buffet, they are gonna know I'm in there. And then I don't know if I mentioned this, might have mentioned it briefly. Tuesday or Wednesday, I plan on doing 2 things poker-wise I've never done before. It's gonna be the same one thing, but it'll cross 2 things off the list of poker events that I've never done. Being vague on purpose, again, about this, because you need to stay tuned to watch what happens either Tuesday night or Wednesday night, not sure yet. And yeah, so I'm gonna drive to MGM. All right, in MGM, and I was just thinking this on the drive here, and a little bit the last couple of days. A result of Caesars not having poker that affects probably me more than anybody, commuting. I've on and off like Caesars my entire life. Lately, I've enjoyed it. Bally's, enjoying it more than last year, not nearly as much as the temp room. That was pure gold in 2022. And Bellagio, liked it a lot in like 15 and 16, then not so much, but I've enjoyed it more this year than in 21 and 22. So not only was I enjoying the 3 rooms, Bellagio, Caesars, Bally's, you probably call Bally's Horseshoe, but they were all close on that corner of the strip intersecting Flamingo. Now there's the two I just played, Bell and Bally's. What are the 3 closest now that trio doesn't exist all right next to each other? Like, I think it's Aria, Bellagio, Bally's. Maybe it's Mandalay, MGM, Aria. Maybe it's like Venetian Wynn Resorts World. Maybe it's like Wynn Resorts World Westgate. I don't even know. And none of those are anything like Bellagio, Caesars, Bally's all being on the same corner. So I just played at Bellagio and Bally's, and then I drove down here to MGM. I mean, could have walked, could have taken the monorail, could have walked and walked through Aria on the way down the strip, but just an interesting result that probably a lot of people weren't thinking of, because it affects me more than most people. First on the list, the promo fund is almost gone. Beautiful. It was 35,000 when I was here yesterday. Now it's below 2,500, and there's actually so few games. A small number of great games are going on right now. So few games, there are full empty tables. That's the dealer chair, but with the good chairs. You see those 3 chairs? I'm sitting in a good chair. We used to only have like 8 of these chairs. Then it was like 18, and now it's like 6 tables worth. So like around 50 chairs. We're 9-handed here at MGM, so there's 4 tables going, 2 empty tables all filled with good chairs. It used to be like a race. When someone left who was sitting in a good chair, someone sitting in a bad chair would run over and get it. Now we're just stupid with good chairs. Small number of great games. I might be here for a while tonight. Alright, I'm done for the night. It's getting kind of tired. MGM was the best spot of the night though, now that the rakeback promo is gone. It's a small number of great games. My table was good, and I could tell the others were social. I don't know, you know, the hands being played on the other tables, but even though there's not a ton of traffic, those are very quality games going on in there. Interesting how much, I mean, I guess it always happens like this, how much the rakeback fund went down at the end. So there was $100,000 in the rakeback fund. There are different levels of hours. You hit a certain amount of hours of play and you could cash in those hours for money. It started on August 22nd. Yesterday I was playing there. It was August 10th yesterday. Did I say August? It started on July 22nd. Yesterday when I was there, it was August 10th. So in the first 19 days or so, the fund went down from 100,000 to about 35,000. In just yesterday, it went down from 35,000 to about 2,500. So in the first 19 days, about first 19 days, about $65,000 was cashed out by players, and then yesterday about 33,000 in one day. And while I was in there, about 700 got cashed out. Guess a few people hitting 15 hours, cashing out $100. So it is almost totally gone, but it's as if it's all gone. Very good games going on in MGM now. And yeah, just getting kind of tired, and also have to wake up a little earlier than normal tomorrow because I am changing rooms. So I think that's going to be a wrap on today, a Sunday in Las Vegas. Poker a little lackluster just because it is the height of how hot it gets out here in Vegas and the series is over. I hope this wind coming in from the parking garage isn't too bad, but I can kind of feel it. Anyway, hope the audio was fine for this last scene, and I will see everyone tomorrow, a Poker Players Monday in Las Vegas, Nevada. And remember, rice is a spoon food.